Oh, good morning. Uh, my name's Mikey Zena. I am of Menorcan Magic, handmade cast nets here in St. Augustine, Florida. I'm working on this net that's going to end up being a 10-foot net, and this is a widening rod. I just wanted to clarify a few things on putting in widenings because widenings are so important. Main thing is that you keep them the correct amount and in line, which I'm going to show you here. There's ways of doing this. I count, but of course I had to stop to do this. I got to watch it very close here. But there's other ways of doing it. Phil, can you see?
Yep.
See where I'm getting close to that widening? I'm going to tie one more mesh, and then I'm going to put in, actually what a widening is in a handmade net, it is what makes it work. Without the widenings, you wouldn't have nothing but a sock. So at this point, and what you do is you go in between two meshes and add another mesh. That's what you do. So I'm going to go in between here. I'm going to pick this up and come down, make my loop. And you have to always double tie. Every widening has to be double tied because they will slip. So you want to double tie that and make that good and tight. And what I've done is added. Now I'm getting close to the end of this row, and I want to show you something else. A quick thought on widenings, a clarification. I've had a couple of emails and calls lately on that people got a little bit confused because I say when you start your net, you go down 7 or 8 rows, plain rows, then you start your widenings. Well, when you start your widenings, you're going to put a widening in every 3 meshes with that. So I'll tie one mesh, put in a widening, then I'll count 3 a widen, count 3 a widen until I get around and I tie in. Then I'm going to do 2 plain rows. Then I'm going to put in a second widening row. Here's the confusion. Some people think that it's going to be your second widening row, that they're going to be 3 apart. They're not. They're going to be 4. Each additional widening row, they're going to be 1 further apart. Your second widening row, they're going to be 4 apart. Your third widening row, they're going to be 5 apart, and so on. This particular net here is 4.5 foot. They're 18 apart already. So as you can see, that's what gives a net its spread. So to clarify that, let me get on down because I'm going to show you how to tie in. I don't know if I've covered this very well or not in the past, but it is important. There's a couple of things here I want to show you. A little trade secret. Let's say I was to run out of a string right here. I'm out of cord. I don't have enough to finish this row. Okay, so in order to not to have 2 knots on top of one another, there's a little trick of the trade, and that is, visualize that's just a little short piece of string. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop this, and I'm going to take that net and I'm going to throw it over. Do you see what I did? I'm going to knit backwards. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take this piece of string. I'm only going to do one to show you what I'm talking about. But I'm going to pick this up, and what I'm going to do is you see what I'm doing? I completely throw this over, so I'm going to go backwards down to this. This is what I'm going to work to right here. So what I'll do, I'll just take it just. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to pick this up and come through, pick up my mesh. And I'm going to tie that. I would do this till I got down to the end. At this point, then I would take my 2, which I'm going to show you how to tie together. So that's a little trick to save you from and make sure that you don't work yourself in a hole where you don't have enough tail here to knit back far enough to where you start. Let me just finish up this winding row, and now there's 2 ways. There's other ways of doing this. I'm only going to show you the best way, because this is really the correct way to do it. Now, remember we talked about a handmade net is a continuous circle. That's what it is. You go round and round and round and round and round from the start to the finish. Now I've completed this row. So what I'm going to do, in order to continue my circle, I'm going to take these two ends. This is called the tail. That is the tail. And of course, this is the needle line. Now I'm going to bring them together. Ideally, you want those two knots to stay right together. And that's going to be hard for Phil to pick this up, I'm sure. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these two ends. I'm just simply going to tie a knot. I throw this over like this, and I come underneath. Then when I pull my needle through, I reach down to catch the tail, and I pull it through. And Phil, can you see that?
Hold on right there. I'm going to get a close-up.
This is just a simple knot. That's all it's going to be. It's going to be the completion of that row. But there's the critical part. It needs to be the same size as the mesh. And there's ways of doing it. I mean, I've done it so much, I just look at it and do it. But you can take your gauge and put your gauge up behind here like this. And then you can just take it and when you tie that knot, don't tie it real tight. Just leave it loose for now. Snug, I should say, because I'm going to look at that. Then in order to make sure, and you want that knot to be right up on the leading edge of that board. See, I've got just a teeny bit back, so I'll take it, see, that's why I left that knot kind of loose, and I'm going to tighten it until I get exactly where I want it, and I've got it there now. That knot, this knot here.
Hold it steady, and I'm going to close up.
This knot here, you want to rest right at the leading edge of that board. That's where it needs to be, right where I've got it. Right where I've got it. Now, to start the next row, it's just a simple matter. I'm going to take and slide the gauge right up against the tail, and I'm going to pick up and continue on. I'm just going to pick up that next mesh. I'm going to continue that circle. Round and round and round we go until we finish. Okay. I'm not going to go any further. I think I pretty well clarified. The important thing that I wanted to clarify to you was the fact of the widenings. You start that net, I put 42 meshes in the top. I tie 41, and when I tie the two ends together like you saw me do there, that makes number 42. Don't tie 42 and then tie it in, because you're going to have 43. That's going to throw your widenings off the whole net. So it's 41 tied in, it's 42. You come down 7 rows. I usually come down 7 rows and I'll start my widenings. I'll tie one mesh, put in a winding, then I'll count 3 in a winding, 3 in a winding, but until I come around to the other side and tie it in, and they're going to be 3 apart all the way. So that's what you want to see. With that, I think I'm pretty well. The next time I've got something else in mind to show you, but I don't want to do too much at one time, make these things too long. But I think I've pretty well covered what I wanted to today, and that is the clarification of the widenings, and that is that they don't stay 3 apart. As you can see, these things here, one last time, if Phil can get a close-up, if you can see, I'm going to pick this thing up to a winding row here where you can see it. Can you see that, Phil? You see how they're right in line? You see those? And see, that's just the beauty of a handmade net. That net's alive. You can't do that with a panel net. Those monofilament or any kind of panel net, it won't do that. It won't flex like that. It can't flex. But you see the widenings, they're right in line, and that's what you want to see, the entire length of that net. This is going to be a 10-foot net. They'll be close to 40 apart at the end. You can put in, just like you start the net with 7 rows, I start with 7, you could stop the widenings 7 rows from the end. You don't have to run them all the way down to the bottom. You can stop it, 6 to 8 rows, somewhere there. and then you put in your double row, and you're ready for the lids. So with that, I think I've covered enough for today. I hope I clarified that, because I know I have had some thoughts on that subject that they was just a little bit confused. So with that said, I'd like to thank you very much. We do have a website. It's called menorcanmagic.com. That's MENORCANMAGIC, one word.com. And you can find us there, and we have several little videos on YouTube. Any comments, if you'd like to email us or call us, I'd like to hear from you, and I can answer any questions you might have on a cast net. So with that said, thank you very much, and have a good day.